So, hello everyone. It is a common knowledge that there are many mythologies, tales, folklores, and myths. Some of the tales involves kings, queens, warriors, and sometimes even gods and goddesses themselves. Such example were King Arthur and his Round Table Knights, and Zeus, the god king of Olympus, Susanoo and the grass cutter sword, then Hercules with his 12 labors, and Borobudur temple. But there are still many other more that I cannot cover all of them in this video. But in this video, I would like to explain a bit about mythology that less people know about. But to be more specific, in this video, I will explain a bit about a goddess, the goddess of Mesopotamia, the personification of sea, and the primordial goddess Tiamat. So in this video, we will look at her description, mythology, and lastly her depiction in modern or pop culture world. Okay, so the goddess Tiamat. Her name came from the Akkadian word for sea, and that's why she is known as the personification of seawater. She has also another title though, which is called the primordial goddess. This title was given to her because she was the central point of the creation mythology in Mesopotamia era, called Enuma Elish. In layman terms, she is one of the two who was responsible for creating other gods and goddesses, and in some cases the earth itself. She has part in it, but we will get into that later on in this video. Another reason why she has this title was because the mythology itself is one of the oldest mythology as of currently. Thus, many described her as the mother of all gods and goddesses from other mythology as well. From many fossilized tablets and statues, she was portrayed as a serpent or a dragon. We'll get to that later. Okay, there are three main plot lines in her mythologies, which were the creation of the universe, war with Marduk, and lastly her death. Tiamat was known for playing a big role in story of creation Enuma Elish. According to this story, in the beginning there were only Tiamat, the representative of seawater, and Apsu, the representative of freshwater. Soon, their water mixed, and in turn created the first deities, which is called Lahmu and Lahamu. Then many gods and goddesses came after them. But with so many gods and goddesses, the lesser gods and goddesses started to annoy the elder gods. Then Apsu, the representative of freshwater, Tiamat's consort, wants to do something about this, which surprisingly Tiamat disagreed at first. We'll get to that later. But before Apsu could react to this annoyance, this lesser gods doing, the lesser god, these young gods, got to him first and killed him. So from his dead body, they built a temple that in the near future where Marduk would be born. And you see, Marduk has a big role in Tiamat's mythology, and it's because of this. So in Tiamat's mythology, second lore, which were the war with Marduk and her death, So when Marduk was born, his grandfather gave him 4 winds to play. These winds started to once again annoy the elder gods and goddesses. So the rest of the elder gods and goddesses pursued Tiamat to eradicate this little annoyance, which she reluctantly agreed. So, with the help of her second consort named Kingu, she created an army of monsters, and at the time, nobody could stop her. At least, until she met Marduk. So you see, in the end, when Kingu and herself faced against Marduk, even with the help of all of her army and Kingu at her side, she was ultimately cornered. Her army was scattered, and Kingu fled. Yet she stood her ground. At the climax of the battle, she was put to death with an arrow through her heart. Before Marduk proceeding to cut her in half and use the first half to create the heavens, the moon, and the constellation. Then he used the other half to make the earth, raising mountains and continents before ruling them all. The goddess Tiamat was also featured in many pop culture, and one of them was in Fate Grand Order, Demonic Front anime and game chapter. Here she was shown firstly as a woman with blue hair and horns, with 2 horns. But as time passed on, she went through many transformations until she reached her dragon-like form, which is called PS2. In order to defeat her, it took several servants with divinity attributes, Gilgamesh with his archer and caster form, then the old man Hassan, and lastly Mush herself. So I hope you are interested to listen to this video, and thank you, and maybe I'll see you next time. Bye bye.